Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Life and Living, your safe space to pause, reflect, and make peace with the beautifully complicated business of being human. I'm your host, Shubhra, and as always, I'm so grateful you're here. Whether you're walking, commuting, procrastinating, or just needing a gentle nudge towards clarity today. We've talked about midlife crisis, self doubt, mental health, happiness, even lies and deception. And today's episode? Well, this one might ruffle a few feathers, but I promise you it will be in the best way possible. Because we're diving into a topic most people avoid like the plague: conflict. But trust me, by the end of this episode, you might just see conflict as one of your greatest teachers. What is conflict? Let's be real for a second. When you hear the word conflict, what comes to your mind? A shouting match? An awkward family dinner? That colleague of yours who always means well but somehow manages to ruin your day? We've been conditioned to think of conflict as something bad, something to avoid. But here's the truth: conflict is not a catastrophe. It's simply a difference asking to be acknowledged. It's simply a conversation that wants to happen but hasn't. From a psychological standpoint, conflict arises when two sets of needs, beliefs, or values collide. And that's okay. Because guess what? We are not carbon copies of each other. And if we keep suppressing our truths just to keep the peace, we don't actually have peace. We just have a performance. Now, I want to talk to you about why avoiding conflict is more harmful than actually having it. I've worked with so many people who pride themselves on being non confrontational. They think it makes them kind, or easygoing, or mature. But let me be honest. Avoiding conflict doesn't make you peaceful. It makes you quietly resentful. It turns your emotions into landmines, buried just under the surface, waiting to explode. So, what happens when we don't speak up? We bottle hurt, we become passive aggressive, we say yes when we mean no, and then wonder why we feel used or invisible. Think about it. How many times have you said it's fine when it absolutely wasn't fine? And then later, you felt anxious, you felt exhausted, or even angry at them, at yourself, or at the world. Conflict is actually the pressure valve. If you avoid it long enough, explosion won't be a conversation, it will be a breakdown. Let's look at conflict with a different perspective. What if conflict was an invitation to learn, to clarify, and to grow? In emotionally healthy relationships, whether it's a spouse, a sibling, a boss, or even your own child, conflict is how trust deepens. It's not about winning the argument. It's about understanding the why behind the tension. In fact, the relationships that survive long term aren't the ones that never fight. They are the ones that fight well. They talk it out. They repair what breaks. They listen, not just respond. Now let's talk about boundaries, one of the most misunderstood words in human relationships. If conflict is the fire alarm that tells you something is not okay, then boundaries are the architectural design of your emotional home. They don't keep people out. They simply show people where the door is, how to knock, and where to wipe their feet. Here's what boundaries aren't. They are not punishments for others. They are not walls built out of bitterness. and they're definitely not selfish. In fact, boundaries are a form of self respect and self awareness. How do you say it? If you say, "This is how I deserve to be treated, this is what I will and I will not allow in my space," they're not about control, they're about clarity. Because when your needs are clear, your peace becomes non negotiable. But here's the thing a lot of people don't tell you: you can't set healthy boundaries if you are terrified of conflict. Because the moment you say, "I'm not okay with that," someone somewhere is going to flinch, push back, or feel uncomfortable. And that's okay. Their discomfort is not your guilt to carry. You're not here to keep everyone happy. You're here to live in truth, not tension. Alright, let's break this down into a few things you can actually start practicing. Nothing overwhelming, just small shifts that build real power. So let's start. If conflict makes you panic, first, breathe. I know that sounds basic, but honestly, most of us hold our breath the moment we feel tension. So start there. Then ask yourself, okay, what am I actually feeling right now? Not what you should feel or what would be acceptable to feel, just what's honestly going on inside. When you talk to the other person, try to speak from your own experience. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you say, "I feel unheard when I'm interrupted." It's not sugarcoating, it's self awareness with kindness. And how about when it comes to setting boundaries? How do you do that? Start small. You don't have to announce your emotional constitution on Instagram. Just say no to that one plan you really don't want to go for. Or tell someone, "I'm not available for this right now." You don't owe anyone a long winded explanation. Clear is kind, short is strong. And yes, people may push back. They might call you selfish or distant and dramatic. Let them. That's just the discomfort of change talking. Because the truth is, boundaries don't break relationships. They reveal the ones that only worked when you were the one doing all the bending. Alright, let's take a quick breather and pull all of this together. Just like a little heart to heart summary before we wrap up. First, conflict isn't the scary part. What's actually scary? Suppressing your truth for so long that you forget what it sounds like. Second, it's not your job to keep everyone happy. Seriously, that job doesn't even come with health insurance. Your real responsibility is to stay honest with yourself. That's where the magic begins. Number 3, boundaries, they're not selfish, they're sacred. They're how you protect your peace and let the right people love you in the right way. And finally, peace isn't about keeping things quiet on the outside. It's about feeling calm and clear on the inside because your life aligns with your values. That, my friend, is the kind of peace worth fighting for. So, my dear listener, if you've spent your whole life avoiding conflict, saying yes when you meant no, or keeping the peace at the cost of your own, I see you. But maybe now it's time to rewrite that story. To let go of being the easygoing one, or the fixer, or the quiet peacemaker, and become the one who's grounded, clear, and real. You know why? Because you deserve relationships that can handle your truth. You deserve to speak up without guilt. And most importantly, you deserve peace that doesn't come from silence, but from self-respect. Thank you for joining me today on Life and Living with Shubhra. If this episode spoke to something inside you, please share it with someone you love. You never know who's silently struggling with the same things. Until next time, stay strong, stay soft, and most of all, stay honest with yourself. Here's to life, here's to living, here's to us, unlearning, growing, and speaking up, one brave moment at a time.